All right, so yesterday we saw what gradient descent is and its importance in training a machine learning or a deep learning model. And today we're going to talk about one of the important factors within the gradient descent function, which is the learning rate or step size. How having the optimal step size is a mandatory for better efficiency in training ML models, because you need to have the optimal learning rate size, or else if you have like a very small step size, that is a problem. If you have a very large step size, that is also a problem. Let me show you this. So let's take the same function, which is f of x is equal to x minus 2 to the power the whole power square, which has a minimum at x is equal to 2, because that's where the f of x becomes 0, as you know. Now I've created three step sizes here. The first one is a small, the second one is good, which is 0.3, and the third one is big. Okay. Now, if I visualize this, you will see the difference here. As you see, the red is the bigger one, the green is just right, and the blue is too small. Now, you cannot see the green and blue lines because the red one exploded. That's what happens if your step size is too large. Okay. Now, let's see this chart here on the side. In horizontal chart, you could slightly see green lines because that shows the convergence speed. Okay, and even this, as you could see, the red one overshot. So that's what happens if you have a learning rate which is super big. Okay, and if you have something which is super small, one of the major implications is that the training could take forever. For, let's say, if you're training a deep neural network, if you have an optimal step size, it'll take hours, whereas if you have a very small step size, it'll take days, let's say. Now, if you could see this small equation output here, for the smallest step size, which you have 0.01, the final x, again, it didn't converge well, right? The target is 2.0, but it ended up in 4.003. That's another problem. But for the good one we had, it ended up right at the target. And for the largest one, as you see, it exploded to a different value. See, that's what happens. And there are certain ways we could find the optimal learning rate or step size, which we will discuss in the future videos. But some of the ways are to find the optimal, let's say, step size or learning rate range. Yes, then also do grid search. We can also do adaptive methods, which will learn and adapt based on the performance methods. And these are some of the ways in which you could actually uh, find the optimal learning rate for the model.